Chapter 4 Normalization. Normalization process. We start with the unnormalized form. Assume that we have project relation schema with the attribute project number, project name, employee name, job class, charge hours, assign hours. And here we have the relational table project number P001, project name alpha, employee number is 001, employee name Ali, job class programmer, Ali is a programmer, and charge per hours for a programmer is RM50, and assigned hours here is the work. So Ali worked for 3 hours, and RM50 per hours. Ali is a programmer, RM50. So altogether, Ali is paid for RM50 times 3, RM150. And we have project number P002, project name Bistari, and employee number is 03, CT, system analyst, RM100, and to RM100 uh, per hours for system analyst. RM100 also per hours for database admin. But here we can see CT work for 2 hours and Raju work for 5 hours. And the unnormalized form UNF has no primary key. If you can see here, project relation schema, project number, project name, all these attributes are not underlined, so it means there's no primary key. Therefore, this is not normalized. We have to change it into first normal form. In first normal form, there will be no repeating group. No repeating group means you have to identify the primary key. And we have here project, in bracket, project number, project name, every number, employee name, job class, charge per hours, assigned hours, and project number is underlined. Solid line project number means it is a primary key. All these attribute, the other attribute, project name, employee name, job class, charge hours, and assigned hours are all depend on the key attribute, which is project number, project num. We have a first normal form, uh, project relation schema, and we have identified the primary key, project num here, and we underline it. And what we can see, the other attribute, we have project name, employee name, job class, charge hours, assign hours. But this is in first normal form, and we have to change it to second normal form because so we can see that there is a partial dependency here. Right? Second normal form means we have to remove partial dependencies, which is to identify the non-key attribute that depend on two or more key attributes. So for to make it into third normal form, we have to go to the second normal form first, and for this second normal form, we have to remove partial dependencies. What we have here, the first normal form, right? And from this, we need to identify which are the attributes that depend on two or more key attributes. So what we can see here, we have assigned hours. Assigned hours. Assigned hours is the hours that the employee work for that project. So we take out these assigned hours and we put it under new relation schema. We name it as an employee project. And these assigned hours attribute depends on employee number and depends on project number. It cannot just depend on one primary key. It has to depend on two primary key. So second normal form is remove partial dependency. That is to find attributes that depend on two or more key attributes. Here, assigned hours is an attribute that depend on two primary keys, right? Project number and employee number. So these are the uh, partial dependencies. And what are left now? We copy back again this project from the first normal form to the second normal form, we have the project relation schema with the attributes project num, uh, primary key, project name, employee number, employee name, job class, charge hours. As you can see, we have removed the assigned hours and we have put it under new project relation schema employee project. So here, these are the second normal form, but we need to go to the third normal form to make all the attributes belong to the right relations. We have here second normal form, employee project. The assigned hours is non-key attribute depend on employee number, the key attribute, and also project number, employee and project number, the key attribute. These are two actually foreign key, and this and it becomes primary key, composite key. We call it composite key because it is a combination of two keys, employee project number and employee number. Assign hours cannot just depend on just one key attribute. It depends on these two key attribute. Therefore, this is what we call partial dependency. And what we have now here is project number, project relation with the primary key, project number, project name, employee name. And we can see here these attributes actually can belong to another relation. Employee name should belong employee name, employee number should belong to employee, right? And therefore, we can see it is it needs to be changed to the third normal form. What is third normal form? Remove transitive dependency. We can see a transitive dependency on this project relation. What is transitive dependency? Transitive dependency means to identify non-key attribute depend on non-key attribute. So what we can see, charge hours in the project relation schema, charge hours is a non-key attribute and depend on job class, which is also non-key attribute. It is not underlined in the project relation schema, so therefore it is a non-key attribute that depend on non-key. Employee name is a non-key attribute depend on employee number, which is also non-key attribute here, because we have to remove transitive dependencies, and in then it becomes under third normal form. So what we remove the employee name, employee number. So we have employee name depend on employee number, and we put it under one relation, and we call it employee. And then the charge hours is the non-key attribute depend on other non-key attribute, which is job class, and we put it under job charge relation. So charge hours, non-key attribute depend on non-key attribute job class. But when we put it into third normal form, this job class becomes the primary key because it is a unique attribute that can identify the charge hours. And then we have what we have left is the project name, which is the non-key attribute that depend on project number, which is the key attribute, and it is under project relation. And in the second normal form, we already have identified the partial dependencies, and the relation is employee project. We have to write that again, put it under the third normal form. So altogether, under third normal form, we have four relation schema. We have employee relation, job charge relation, project, and also employee project relation. So altogether, four relations. Under third normal form, four four relation schema: employee, job charge, project, and employee project. Then we have this question: draw the ERD from the normalized table in the third normal form. So we list out these all relations under employee. We have employee, we have employee project, and job charge, right? So employee and job charge, there's a relation in it. There's a relationship in it because of we have, you can see here in the third normal form, job charge, we have job class as the primary key, and in the employee we have job class as the primary key. Foreign key is we can see it is a foreign key because the job class exists here, and the job class is actually the primary key in a job charge relation, and the foreign key is underlined with dotted lines. Dotted lines. The primary key is with the solid line, underlined with the solid line. So how do we draw it? The ERD, the job charge is one, and the employee is many because of job class in the employee relation um, is a foreign key. Therefore, it is many. So we can see here many employee hold the same post in the job charge. For example, there are many employee that is programmer. Many employee can become a system analyst, right? So we have many to one. Many employee hold one position. Employee and employee project, we can see in the employee project, we have employee project relation, we have employee number, but employee number is the primary key in employee relation. So therefore the employee here becomes one because the primary key employee number here is at the employee relation. And then we have employee project many because it is a foreign key at the employee project. The employee project has composite key, which is project number, employee number, but both of these keys is actually belong to other relation. Therefore, it is many here. Whenever it there's a foreign key, you put it as many. It is logic anyway. One employee is assigned to many employee project, and many employee project has or handle one project, right? So you can see the project here is the primary key one, and then the project number in the employee project relation is the foreign key. So it becomes many employee project has involved in one project. So that's how we draw the ERD. It's very simple. Just look at the relation primary key and the foreign key. The primary key will be one, the foreign key will be many, as simple as that. So based on the normalization process, you can try to do this exercise. We have two questions here. Do the normalization for these two questions. Start with the unnormalized forms. Given what is given here is the unnormalized form, and you need to transform it to first, second, and the third normal form. And then after that, try to draw the ERD from the third normal form relations.